Hey guys, how's it going? Comparing here. Today I want to review a fairly interesting druid card. It is the Tree of the Life, the 9 mana spell that was introduced in Goblin vs. Gnomes. It restores all characters to full health. This includes every creature on the board and both players. And, health wasn't really one of those things that druid was missing before this card. Pretty much every single druid that was successful was running at the very least one copy of Savage Roar and Force of Nature to combo, and the way that you'd play druid, either with Miracle or with kind of a ramp or just straight up combo or even the token druid, would basically be you stall out the game, you do like a random 15 damage to your opponent, and then you suddenly kill him. And the whole game would basically be setting up for this scenario. And Tree of Life doesn't really work with that because with that type of deck, you never want to heal your opponent, for one, and two, the main weakness of the druid in general is, coming back in the board. The druid actually has very weak removal when it comes to mid and late game creatures. And yes, druids do pretty well against the small creatures, but because there's a lot of taunt and that kind of shitty, annoying stuff out there, even the sticky small minions, it's becoming harder and harder for, swipe and all the typical quick removal druid cards actually work against small creatures. So that's why pretty much every single druid deck that goes anywhere is basically a Force of Nature Savage Roar deck, and Tree of Life doesn't really work with that because of the things I mentioned. Now, today what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a deck that utilized not Tree of Life, but a few of the other cards. I wanted to actually try out Mech Bear Cat. And in this deck, which you guys can see here, the Spare Parter, I actually did use Tree of Life because I was thinking that Tree of Life, if you'd make a deck for it, it would either be a Mill Druid, which some people have tried with some success. It does do pretty well against most slow decks out there, where you just draw out their entire deck and you still have some cards in it, you heal to full life and you're good to go. But when it comes to facing a lot of aggro decks, it's sometimes a little bit of a problem because if you feed like a hunter too many cards, or if you feed, all the other kind of all-in decks too many cards, they're just going to destroy you because, druids just don't have that really efficient removal as they once did. So I wanted to make a mid-game deck to see if I can make Mech Bear Cat work, and I also, it's not on the deck list now, but I had a Mogar the Ogre there as well. I've still been trying to put that card somewhere, but as it turns out, both Mogar and Mech Bear Cat, every single time I played them, they were pretty much a strictly worse Boulder Fist Ogre. They still did nothing, but, they died to Fireball. Boulder Fist Ogre requires more mana, plus the Fireball, you require like a ping. Or they got Big Game Huntered, or they got Hunters Marked. They literally did nothing better than a Boulder Fist Ogre. They were strictly worse than Boulder Fist Ogre, so that was very disappointing. It seems that Mech Bear Cat is kind of a card that's good in Arena, and maybe if you run it in Constructed, you want to run it in a deck that has a lot of small creatures, maybe like a full Mech Druid, because if you have a lot of little mechs, your opponent has to get rid of them with like a board clear, and if he uses like, a Blizzard or a Flame Strike, it wouldn't actually kill Mech Bear Cat. So if they use a single target removal on Mech Bear Cat, all the small creatures work. So it's kind of like the big creature of the small creatures that you'd maybe use in that type of deck, but in general, that card, in my opinion, really, really sucks in Constructed. It doesn't really have a role. So that part was pretty fail. But what wasn't fail was some of the other parts of the deck. Doctor Doom worked very well. It has some synergy with Cenarius. Doctor Doom, all the little 1/1 bombs that you spawn, you can buff those up with +2/+2 to all your creatures. Cenarius, that's pretty cool. But honestly, most of the games that I won against all-in decks that just try to rush me down. And right as I'm about to lose, they have like 3 creatures on the board, no hand. I got like a hand of 10 cards. Tree of Life saved the day, and if it wasn't for this one card, I actually think this deck would have won 0 games. So it does kind of put it into the limelight, where Tree of Life is actually a very good card, but the state of the Druid right now, and I guess people haven't really pushed it too far past it because the Savage Roar combo with Force of Nature is so successful, just because it doesn't work with that, I think this card is really getting overlooked. Now, Tree of Life would be a really good card if it was like a Priest card, because you could do like Light Bomb or something like that. You can clear the board, and you can heal to full if you're really, really low life, which is something that Priest really needs right now. Like Holy Fire isn't even good enough from what I've seen. And possibly in other classes as well, it might be a pretty big card. But I think there is yet some hope for this one, and if it doesn't really shine in this expansion, if Mill doesn't become a thing in the meta, I think with some more cards added, if Druid does gain some more efficient removal, even though I try to make it work in my Druid deck with spare parts to, give taunt to your opponent's minions and Black Knight, give them plus attack, and Big Game Hunter, it's still not good enough. Druid just doesn't have any good ways to deal with the board. When they get them, Tree of Life might be a pretty big thing. But right now, it's still a fun card to use. If the meta gets very, very aggressive, I think Tree of Life might be an absolute win card if just every deck goes all in. And, well, it doesn't take too much more than that. I mean, these days I'm facing like maybe 1 out of 3 opponents are running that type of all-in deck. So it's all right. It has its place. I want to show you guys a few highlights of the games. I had a pretty short stream today because I had a lot of internet problems again. But still, it was quite a blast to play the deck when it worked. And, well, hope you guys enjoyed the games because it certainly highlights this card. His last card is a spare part, so for him to kill me, he has the top deck here. If that gets frozen, I can never play it again.
Something needs tinkering?
I'm gonna Tree of Life after. Oh my god, it's Snake Trap. I think I need a Tree of Life here. Okay. You! Alright. Good. Okay, it's Hunter again. Yeah, Swipe's probably really good. I got Tree of Life, but man, those cards cost so much mana.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Two Moltons is pretty good, Tree of Life. I can see that. I think you're right. We got Dr. Boom here. We have Hunter's Mark. Oh, that sucks. Oh, kill command. Kill that one, kill that one. Good. What? Oh my god, dude. Really? That's some fucking shit. Good. I'm not sure what he's doing with that trap. But I'll just sack my dude, I guess. This probably freeze. He wouldn't run double snake. Yeah. Oh, that was an insect. Okay, we're gonna try healing here. Just kill one of those stupid things, will you? Oh god. Such fail. I'm dead to kill command here. I don't think that's enough. But that is a little bit of a problem.
Where shall I strike? Where shall I strike?
Okay.
Ah, the great outdoors. I have no time for games.
He's running 2 Fel Reavers. Ooh, that was not a good one. That means I take 8 face. Or he kills Rag, which is also bad.
Who dares defile this ancient land?
Let none survive.
Yeah, that might not be good enough. Oh shit. Yeah, that is not good enough. Okay, I got the big game. Wait, I think I need the big game here to actually stay alive. But I can make it so he doesn't draw anymore.
Almost out of cards. I've got the beast in my sights. I'm out of cards.
Let none survive.
Alright, Rag. Remember how you wanted to hit all those 1-1s earlier? You gotta do that again. Good job. We won.
Server connection failed. Unable to write.